The metal tool slipped from my calloused hands, right as flames burst through the Whitmore mansion's ground floor, orange and hungry, licking at the woodwork like it had waited decades for this moment. Meanwhile, somewhere in those smoke-choked walls, water dripped and hissed, like the house itself was mocking me. And through it all, I could hear someone screaming upstairs. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like hearing the voice that shredded your self-worth 6 months ago, now howling for help above your head. I looked up, just for a second, through that dirty smoke, and there she was. Eleanor Whitmore, eyes wild, face twisted, realizing the only person on the ground below her window was me. Jake Morrison, the same guy she dismissed without a second thought. You want to know how life flips the script? 6 months back, I'd walked through that very door, clutching the only nice suit I owned and a resume I'd written so many drafts of. It felt like a joke. The marble floors echoed under my boots, fancier than any place I'd ever worked, past portraits of ancestors staring down at me, like they already knew I didn't belong. The interview lasted 12 minutes. Eleanor didn't look up from her computer. "Mr. Morrison, we require a certain caliber of professional here," she'd said, fingers flying over her keyboard, not even pausing as she cut me down. My work in manual labor, years of night school, certifications earned after double shifts, meant nothing to her. I wanted to explain, but her tone said loud and clear, "Don't bother. Of course, we'll be in touch if anything suitable opens up." We both knew that call was never coming. Now here I was, back again, but not for a job. No, I was called in for a busted pipe, of all things, an emergency, water leaking into the electrical room of the Whitmore estate, at 8:47 on a Tuesday, right after I'd promised Emma, my 7-year-old, that I'd check her math homework before bed. I kissed her goodnight, drove through the rain, and let myself into that basement, threading my way through ancient pipes and fixtures older than most of the city. When the lights went out, twice, then for good, I knew things were about to get dangerous. That old instinct kicked in, firefighter training, muscle memory, stay low, find an exit, don't be a hero. But you know what happened? I heard that scream, unmistakable, panicked, sharp, and all my logic went out the window. Eleanor Whitmore, the ice queen herself, trapped upstairs, with the fire climbing the walls. I stood at the foot of the grand staircase, the kind that probably cost more than my truck, and weighed my options. What did I owe her, after everything? But another voice in my head, quieter, softer, sounded like Sarah, my late wife, reminding me who I was. It sounded like Emma, asking why I looked so defeated after that interview. It sounded like the man I used to be. So up I went, 2 stairs at a time, boots slamming wood that was already getting soft in the heat, smoke closing in until I could barely see. I found her in the same office where she'd broken me, the door warped, stuck tight. "Eleanor, it's Jake. I'm getting you out." Silence, then that brittle, scared voice. "Jake, the maintenance man, stand back." I braced my bad leg, slammed my shoulder into the door 3 times before it splintered. She was there, pressed against the wall, perfect suit in tatters, hair wild, and eyes wide with a fear I'd never seen from her, not just of the fire, but of needing someone she'd written off. She pointed to the window. It stuck. Years of paint had sealed it tight. But I'd wrestled with worse, cracked it with my elbow, cleared the glass, and told her, "It's a 15-foot drop. There's a hedge, should break your fall." She hesitated, then grabbed my arm, hard. "Why are you doing this?" After everything, I just looked her in the eyes. "Because it's the right thing to do." She went first, hit the bushes hard but safe. I was about to follow when part of the ceiling gave way behind me. Sparks, heat, debris raining down. I jumped, legs screaming, landing in the hedge with a lot less grace than Eleanor. But we both made it out. She stood there, shaking, watching her whole life, her inheritance, her empire, go up in flames. For a second, I wanted to say something, anything. But the gap between us was still there, wide as ever. So I called 911. Fire trucks came, professionals now, the guys I used to be. Afterwards, as she was checked by paramedics, Eleanor came over to me while I packed up my tools. "Jake, thank you. I don't know how to," she trailed off, words she'd never had to practice. I stopped her. 6 months ago, you told me I wasn't the caliber you needed. Tonight, what caliber did I turn out to be?" She couldn't answer. Didn't need to. But as I left, she appeared at my van window, said quietly, "The caliber of person I should have seen 6 months ago." I nodded, not vindicated exactly, but something close. On the drive home, I thought about her recognition. How sometimes seeing and being seen can feel bigger than any apology. Emma was asleep when I got home, math homework still on the table. She'd stopped asking about my job search. No kid should have to protect their parent from disappointment. Next morning, phone rings, unknown number. Eleanor. Different voice, softer. She wanted to talk, not just about the insurance, but about what happened. We met at a diner, her in jeans, nervous, looking nothing like the boss who'd once crushed me. "My adoptive father was Captain Robert Sterling," she said. So quietly I almost missed it. I froze. I knew Sterling, served under him. He was the best captain I'd ever worked with, talked about his team like we were family. He used to mention one firefighter, someone with a gift, someone he'd trust with his life. That person was me. He said if he ever had to trust anyone to get him out alive, it'd be Jake Morrison. Eleanor never made the connection, never saw past my resume, never asked my story. She carried that regret. We talked about her past, her fears, why she built walls. I told her, there's nothing wrong with choosing safety. Her father wanted her to be brave, but she couldn't face more loss. Then, a twist, she handed me an envelope from Captain Sterling, meant for me all along. Lost in bureaucracy, my benefits misfiled after his death. Inside, a letter, praise, a recommendation for instructor, pension papers, even a scholarship. 10 years of lost security, gone because of a simple clerical error, and a company, Eleanor's company, that failed to check the files. She admitted it, tears in her eyes. That her push for efficiency meant my benefits were left unclaimed, my daughter's childhood spent scraping by. "I want to make it right," she said. I told her, "You can fix the pension, the job, but I need something more. Promise me you'll never judge someone the way you judged me." She swore she'd change, no more hiring by assumptions. Later, I invited her to Emma's dance recital. No idea why. Maybe because Captain Sterling believed in second chances, and I wanted to believe that too. That night, Eleanor showed up, flowers in hand. Blue dress, nervous but genuine. Emma danced like her mother, and for the first time, I felt like the past was finally closing behind us. After, Emma hugged Eleanor. "Are you Daddy's new friend?" she asked, and Eleanor said, "I hope so, if your daddy thinks I'm worthy." I realized forgiveness isn't about erasing the past, but building something better moving forward. But right before we left the diner that first morning, Eleanor told me about the fire investigation. Faulty wiring, dangerous shortcuts by a contractor, covered up by her own insurance company. "What are you going to do?" I asked. "I'm going to tell the truth, even if it costs me everything." "Will you help?" I said. "It's what we're going to do. Together." And we did. Her company faced the music, started a recall, lives were saved. Now, months later, I'm a fire academy instructor, teaching new recruits not just how to fight fire, but how to see the human being behind every uniform, every job, every so-called qualification. Eleanor rebuilt her company's reputation, more transparent, more human. But the most important rescue wasn't the night of the fire. It was choosing to save each other from bitterness and isolation. Sometimes, the people who hurt you most are the ones most capable of helping you heal, if you let them. Captain Sterling used to say, "Heroes aren't born. They're made in the moment when it matters most." And he was right. Sometimes doing the right thing, choosing to see, to forgive, to lift someone up, is what truly makes you worthy. So what about you? You ever been judged by the surface? Written off by someone who didn't bother to know the real you? Do you believe people can change, and that second chances are worth giving? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about justice, forgiveness, and what it really means to see someone's true worth.